Inside the S.C.I.F.
The next one I have is...
So it's a new crash.
Another crash. This happened in March of 1948.
Okay.
So Roswell was
47.
July of 47. So
6 months. Yeah,
this happened in Aztec, New Mexico. There was a Dr. G, spelled G-E-E, who reported the UFO crash. He was passing through a military radar equipment area, and that it somehow affected the guidance. This area, because of the radars that were in several different areas, it flew between several radar stations. He believes that that was the cause of this crash. That somehow the radar...
The wave...
Right, because it exactly. The frequencies of these 2 or 3 radar stations flying through there, it affected somehow the guidance system or whatever of this object. When this doctor got to this crash site, he said that there didn't seem like any way to get inside of this craft. That there didn't seem to be any hatches or anything like that to get in. But there was a small puncture that seemed to be in a window or something like that of this craft. He said that looking through this puncture in this window or whatever it was, and there were a group of people with him.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Right, he wasn't the only one there. And he said that they could see inside, and it looked like there had been a fire inside, and it looked like bodies or something inside.
Like they've been microwaved. It sounds like...
Well, like, you know, if a plane crashed and it caught on fire and just burned up everything inside, something similar to that.
But the outside was okay?
The outside looked pretty much okay, except for that little puncture from their vantage point. It it may have crashed into the side and they couldn't see the hole.
Right, or the pressure inside is different.
Could be.
The gas inside is different. Could be oxygen. Could be
ignited.
Ignited.
Right.
Or just the wave, the radar. The frequency. Maybe they're sensitive to radio frequency. I mean, we know microwaves are the type of frequency that are very small, and they could be very sensitive to that.
Right. So this group of scientists who Dr. G was part of, they were unable to find a door, but by pushing with a pole in the hole of the craft and pressing a button on the inside.
So they actually touched it.
You know how your car gets locked?
Yes.
And you stick something inside and you press a button to open up the car?
Right.
They did that to the UFO.
Gotcha.
All right? They pushed something inside and it opened.
And those are scientists.
These are scientists.
There's a scientist.
And they were able to get inside, and they found 16 severely burnt alien-looking bodies.
That's kind of
16.
That's a lot.
And these bodies were about 3.5 to 4 feet tall.
Oh, they're tiny.
Tiny. And they said that the UFO was a dull aluminum color, which is very common, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that it was constructed of some extremely light metallic material.
All right, so...
And that somehow the craft, this object was dismantled by the military, and it was taken, the bodies and the object, the crashed object, were taken to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Where's
in
that?
Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, okay. Ohio.
And that happens to be where Project Blue Book, Project Sign, Project Grudge, Project Twinkle were based out of.
Oh, and
supposedly where the Roswell crash was taken to.
Do you remember?
And the bodies.
Bob Lazar was talking about when he was working, those different, when he was working for the government, he was describing that warehouse where he was walking through and can't touch anything, can ask questions, can do, but he saw different spacecraft.
In the different hangars.
Right. And I'm wondering if some of those might be
Who knows? Could be.
Could be, right?
Could be. But this one was supposedly taken first to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Like I said before, that is the base where all of the UFO projects for the Air Force were housed under the Air Material Command. FBI heard about this crash, and there was a letter, that's in their files that says that they were not given any access to this crashes.
Really?
Yeah. Not just this one, but any of them. That they were not allowed to have access to any of the Air Force information or files. So I've got a map here of, there's a crash site, and there's a parking lot near the crash site now. So you can go and visit where this supposedly took place.
Really?
Yeah.
We should have
There's directions here. It tells you where to park. And
we should have an episode
where we go there.
But we need you guys to subscribe a lot more than that for us to go.
So this is an artist representation, of what they saw. It was sticking in the side of
as
this.
kitsch as it looks, I kind of enjoy those.
Yeah, me too.
It's
me
like
too.
So that's how the object.
When they arrived at the scene,
this is what they saw.
It was crashed into the side of this Aurora.
Oh, okay. And it's basically sand and dirt. I mean, what's the soil made of?
It's typical desert
clay
soil. It's very dry and rocky and sandy and it probably has a lot of minerals in the soil. A lot of copper.
To be that light, it has to be so strong.